The Cowboys, the way they come out, I mean, they were really fired up.
Yeah.
And I think they caught the Redskins where the Redskins weren't as fired up, and they jumped on them. And then they kind of went a little cruise control, and then they let the Redskins back in. And part of it, as Chris Collinsworth was just talking about, was on that turnover by Rocket Ismail. But you can see in the first quarter here, the Redskins didn't do anything. And that's what I said. On the right-hand side, the Cowboys jumped all over them. And then that kind of became a wake-up call for the second quarter. And if you look what happened in the second quarter, you can see that the Redskins started. This is big here. When they started this going, when they started running, then they were able to pass. Then their total yards went up. Then their first downs went up. And then their scoring went up.
Of course, Deion Sanders got hurt.
Yeah, he was hit here by Dan Turk right there. Hits him. Mike Sellers hits him from behind. Watch him. Turk in the front.
A doubleheader.
Get it right there, and then he got the back hit. And so he kind of got the neck strain. Plus, he has a concussion.
Hey, he won't be back.
And we won't see Deion Sanders anymore today. And I think that that's probably something the Redskins talked about at halftime. Has made an adjustment because their game plan was basically with Deion Sanders on their left, Kevin Smith on their right. Now Deion Sanders isn't on their left, so they can change a lot of things.
Kevin Mathis has taken Deion's place. And back deep, Jeff Ogden and Kevin Mathis to return the kickoff. And it's going to be Mathis with Ogden in front of him blocking. Kevin Mathis is going to be taken down at about the 20, and here comes a flag. And let's send you down now to DJ Johnson.
Pat, John, talking to both coaches at halftime on the Deion Sanders situation. Chan Gailey said that they're not going to change anything. The blitzes they had planned, they'll still blitz. They'll still do everything the same. Now, he thinks the Redskins may change, whereas they came into the game planning on using one side of the field. He thinks they may now use both. But speaking of North Turner, North simply said, hey, it's not Deion we have to worry about. We have to get our running game going. That's going to open up our passing game. So that's their plan for the second half. Pat?
All right, DJ. It's an illegal block in the back called against the Cowboys, half the distance to the goal line. Chan Gailey under a lot of pressure this week locally from the local media to be more aggressive. Thus far he has been. Lucky was the man in motion. Aikman hits his other tight end, David LaFleur. And LaFleur is outside the 15. First half possessions started on their own 37. They got a touchdown. They started at Washington 47. They got a field goal. Again, they scored the next time they had the ball, and then fumbled and had to punt.
Yeah, and I think that was a big momentum changer. And I think that the Cowboys had complete control of the game. I think towards the end of the second quarter, the Redskins kind of got control of it.
Aikman to Emmitt Smith, who's hit behind the line by Derek Smith.
Derek Smith is the middle linebacker. Yeah, I liked it. Remember that game? He played a heck of a game against the Giants, and you just see that he just reads that thing, and he just comes from right, and he just hits that what would be in the 7 hole.
Not spectacular, but very solid.
Well, and the one thing he's a good tackler.
3rd and 5. Aikman will operate from the spread formation. Under pressure. Bounces it out. Flag on the play. Intended for Ernie Mills, but there's a penalty marker down.
That's going to be against the Cowboys, and I think it's illegal hands to the face. And if that's illegal hand to the face, it's usually against Eric Williams.
I was just thinking that. Let's see.
Illegal hands to the face on the offense, number 79.
Number 79 is Eric Williams.
4th down.
And so they'll decline that penalty because it was an incomplete pass anyway. But remember, Eric Williams, they put in a rule, and it was kind of the Eric Williams rule that, he used to come back and just punch the guy right in the face. And he started to do it right there. You see that right hand to the face to Kennard Lang? If he hit it up and then took it out, they probably wouldn't call it. But he hit it up there and left it up there.
Going to punt. Gets it out high and short. flag on the play. As Kevin Mitchell is going to return it. And still going is Mitchell down inside the Dallas 30 to about the 28-yard line. But remember, we got to check out a flag, which is still on the field back at about the Redskin 45. Holding against Washington. Cowboys really get a break.
Yep, they do. Well, they had the penalty on the other end, and then they had the other penalty decline, and then they pick it back up here. But
the kick, holding on the return team number 24, 10 yards, first down, timeout.
Called against Champ Bailey. So that negates Mitchell's outstanding return.
Eyes of a puppy dog, lips made for...
And heart. Nissan. Driven.
Redskin ball at their own 30. First and 10. Davis. About 3. Stopped by Kavika Pittman.
you know, the thing that Norv Turner told D.J. Johnson is so big. You know, to be able to run. He wants to be able to throw the ball. Norv Turner does, but to be able to throw the ball, he firmly believes you have to run it, and that goes all the way back. He learned that from our good friend John Robinson,
right,
who he coached with at USC. Norv Turner did before he became the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. That, you know, you got to run the ball.
Mitchell to Connell.
I'll tell you, there's a guy who's not doing anything today, Albert Connell. He had a big week talking, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
And as his coach Tony Rubisky said when he heard, he said, well, he's not afraid of Deion. He can beat Deion. He can go against Deion. He can do all these things. He said, I don't mind. He said, I went in the meeting and I said, okay, good. You said it. Now you got to back it up. He said, remember Muhammad Ali? He said the great thing about Muhammad Ali, he would say what he was going to do, and then he'd go do it. He said, you got to go do it now.
3rd and 7. Johnson steps up, looks for somebody, got Sanders, and got enough for a first down. Larry Sanders, that's what he does so well.
In fact, it has to go to Sanders because Steven Alexander, they haven't thrown to him yet. Westbrook has only caught 2 passes, and Connell has only caught 1. See, that's one thing. In fact, Norv Turner was telling us about Brad Johnson. It's so true. Brad Johnson was a college basketball player at Florida State, and he says, you see, he has a lot of basketball in him. I mean, those moves and things that he does, and there was one right there.
Back to throw is Johnson. Incomplete. Connell, the intended receiver.
And Connell's starting to get frustrated. He just took his mouthpiece out and just threw it on the ground and left it there. And he's running bad patterns.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because this is a ball that he has to work back a little. You see, he kind of squared, and it was kind of thrown behind him too. That cheer that you hear is for Deion Sanders coming back in the field. Now, that's amazing. If he has a concussion, I don't care. He shouldn't be playing.
That's exactly right.
If he doesn't have a concussion, then fine.
Well, he's playing. Somebody grabbed, and here comes the flag.
And that's exactly what they wanted to do. That's exactly what they talked about yesterday. Was going to work deep on that right side. They said we can either get the completion or we'll get an interference out there. Although that was Kevin Mathis, who was the cover guy, they were expecting Kevin Smith over there.
Pass interference on the defense, number 23, automatic.
You watch him grab.
Well, here it is. There's Kevin Mathis right there. And you can just see right there, he grabs that right arm and he holds it.
That you can't do.
You know, had he just gotten his hand in there, it might have been good enough. That was one of the matchups they're trying to get is Irving Fryer. You know, get the away coverage to Irving Fryer.
Johnson lofts it deep and into the end zone and out.
I'm not sure that they know that Deion Sanders is back there because, you know, they talk about the things that you can do to Deion. I mean, you can catch something in front of him. If he's tight coverage, you can run a slant. You can run across. The one thing that you can't run against Deion Sanders is a post, because he'll catch up with a post. The post is where you go down and in towards a goal post. And I don't know that Deion Sanders has ever been beaten on a post.
Two tight ends set up, and this is Davis. Davis gets to the corner and tiptoes down the sideline and stepped out of bounds. Flag on the play. Is it a late hit?
That's where it's good to put the ball in your outside hand towards the sideline. Then you have your other hand and arm to straight arm, and that's exactly what Stephen Davis did.
Late hit. I think it was Woodson.
Watch how Stephen Davis put the ball in his left hand and then stiff arm.
The defense, number 28. Late hit, out of bounds.
Late hit, out of bounds.
There was a late hit.
Automatic, first down.
But you see the ball in the left hand, then that gives him the right hand. And then you're going to see Stephen Davis is going to stay. In fact, he stepped out of bounds right there. He's out of bounds up there. And then as he comes out here, oh, I don't know. I mean, that looked pretty close.
He was inbounds when he got hit.
Look what Michael Westbrook does to Deion Sanders. Westbrook got the block on Deion that cleared the corner.
Davis on first down. Got to about the 6.
Well, it is tough to run sideways against the Cowboy defense because they have great speed. I think Norv Turner, that's the reason he's shaking his head. There's Dave Campo, the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, and the one thing they can do is they can run. You can't go parallel on them. They're not real strong. They're not real big. You can run straight at them. When you start to run sideways, they're going to get a whole bunch of white jerseys there.
They're going to run you down. All three of the linebackers are really fast. And the rest of the defenders are as well.
You know, you just saw that graphic there that shows that this is an area that the Redskins are pretty good in.
Washington timeout. Dallas leading by a touchdown. Brad comes over to the sideline.
Audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Let's watch and listen to that Stephen Davis run again. You'll see why they gave Darren Woodson a penalty. If you listen, it wasn't he was out of bounds, but he hits him after the whistle. See, you heard the whistle, and then there was about 3 beats before Darren Woodson hit him.
Brad Johnson back to throw it. Behind the intended receiver, Albert Connell.
You know, Connell hasn't really had a big game so far, but some of those passes have been behind him. I mean, he had one on the sideline that I thought was his fault, though, because he rounded the pattern a little too much, and that ball there was behind him. But he's an emotional guy. I mean, Albert Connell's an emotional guy. He's one of those high-strung guys and plays with a lot of energy. And once you get that on the right track, it can be pretty good.
Brian Mitchell behind Johnson. Incomplete, intended for Mitchell. Pressure from the Cowboys.
I'll say this, that this Cowboys secondary has great coverage, because if you just think of the number of times that Brad Johnson has gone back there and looked and not been able to find his guy, have to go to the 3rd and 4th guy. That's been happening to him all day, and it just happened to him on that play.
And they put pressure on him at the same time. Conway made his first attempt today from 36 yards away. This one from 24.
Brad Johnson is holder.
He hits again. 17-13. 10:35 left in the 3rd quarter.
Old school records reveal haunting secrets.
Jackie's middle name is...
That 70s Show Halloween episode Tuesday at 8:30 on Fox.
Dallas leads Washington 17-13. 10:35 remaining.
You know, on that last drive, the Redskins had 37 yards of penalties against the Cowboys.
Bouncing to Kevin Mathis. Mathis taken down at about the 23-24. On November the 7th, bass fishing is coming to Fox as the top anglers in the world go for over $3.5 million in prize money in the Ranger Boats M1 Millennium Tournament. Live bass fishing like you've never seen it before. Sunday, November the 7th, only on Fox. Bass looked like he was going to take the bait right there, didn't he?
I think he did.
17-13. Cowboys have the ball and they lead by 4.
A good matchup down here. Rocket Ismail and Darrell Green.
Here's Aikman.
That was the matchup that Troy Aikman was looking at because he threw it to Rocket on Darrell Green.
Right now for an update, let's go to Joe Buck in Los Angeles.
All right, Pat, I'll be doing that fishing tournament, by the way, in Miami, where the Eagles have never won. Brian Dawkins with a 67-yard interception return for a touchdown. Just what Damon Heward cannot do. Hand the Eagles points. 13-10 Dolphins. Start of the fourth quarter. Back to Dallas, Pat and John.
Maybe the Eagles are better than we thought they were.
Well, coming into this game, they've won 2 in a row.
Here's Emmitt Smith across the 40. Let's again go down to DJ Johnson.
Hey guys, we're down here with Michael Irvin and Big Michael. How's the injury coming along?
It's coming along good. I got to visit with the doctor tomorrow. We wait a couple weeks so I can bend my neck. He'll be able to bend the neck a little bit more to get some better X-rays.
Is there any timetable on when you're going to make your announcement, whether you're going to come back or not?
You know what? I have no clue right now. The doctor said we'll go every couple weeks or 10 days, and we'll take X-rays and we'll see how much the swelling is going down and something what's going on with the herniated disc in the neck.
Come from all the guys. Thanks a lot, and take care of yourself.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Back to you.
All right, DJ. Aikman dropped the short pass out to Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, it's good to see Michael Irvin here. We were there in Philadelphia, and you know, it was a tough thing. I mean, when he was down in the ground and he wasn't moving, and as he said, he was thinking about his son Michael there. That, you know, if he'd ever, you know, play with him again, and you can see during the game here, he's over there talking to Champ Bailey, and the thing about Michael Irvin is he's a real competitor. I mean, he's a fiery guy and the heart and soul of the Cowboy team.
Emmitt Smith, first down, Dallas. Marco Coleman made the stop.
The Cowboys are starting to get to this Redskin defense, and you know, that's where they've had their problems. If you look at the Redskins, and I said before the game that they were, you know, 31st on defense. You see Larry Allen. I mean, he comes, and when he traps them, he just puts them right into the turf.
He just buries them.
Some guys, you know, trap them, they knock them out of the hole, they knock it out of the way. Larry Allen, as you said, buries them in the turf.
First down. Aikman throws up the middle to his fullback Tim Lester.
But I was saying about this Redskin defense, I mean, you know, offensively they're a good team. Defensively, they're not a good team. And you know, Carolina blew them up, so they knew they had to do something. So they went out and they hired Bill Arnsparger as a defensive consultant. Remember Arnsparger? There he is right there, and he was a great defensive coordinator. He was at Miami. He was at San Diego, and he's helping Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator. As Norm Turner said, it just helps to have someone to talk to.
Here's Chris Warren. Stopped behind the line. That'll bring up third down for Dallas.
But after that Carolina game, Daniel Snyder, the owner of the Redskins, wanted to do something. And I think he was thinking of doing something more drastic.
Yep.
And you talk about guys who were under fire like Chan Gailey. I mean, Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator, was really under fire.
Heavy fire.
There was some thought that he may not even finish the season. They called Richie Pettibone, and he wasn't interested. He recommended Bill Arnsparger. And then Arnsparger says, yeah, heck, I'm 73 years old, but I love football. And every chance he gets, he thanks Norv Turner for being here.
Aikman out of the shotgun. Has time, throws it up the middle to Chris Warren. And Warren gets the Cowboy first down.
Yeah, this is one of the advantages that you have in a Chris Warren, is that is that he's not only a running back, but he's a good receiver. So when you lose a Michael Irvin and when you lose a Wayne McGarity and you have to pick up a receiver, you don't have to count on Alvin Harper, who you just get off the street. You just make a little adjustment and you use Chris Warren more in your passing game, and that's one of the Cowboys' plans today.
1st and 10, Cowboys at the Washington 32. Aikman's going to throw it again. Up the middle to the Rocket, and the Rocket hangs on, and he took a jolt from Leomont Evans.
Boy, he did take a jolt, and Troy Aikman led him in there to it, but that's the thing. Rocket's not a big guy, but he is a tough guy, and you know when you go in there, you're going to get hit. Leomont Evans just has him zeroed in. He's looking all the way. Now, Troy Aikman leads him into that a little, and Leomont Evans really unloads on him.
And the Rocket did very well to just hang on to that ball.
I know, and he had to go to the sideline and get some of the cobwebs and stuff shaken out of him.
1st and 10, Aikman drops to throw it again and drops it over the middle. That's Chris Warren again. Warren fights his way inside the 5.
And right now in this drive, Chris Warren is becoming Troy Aikman's go-to guy. You just feel that Chris Warren on that play really knew where that yellow line was. You see, he's going to come through there. He just runs a check through, makes someone miss there, then runs over the next one to pick up the 1st down.
So that makes it 1st and goal. Chris Warren is a very good receiver, has been a very good runner, and is a big guy. Thomas to the right of Emmitt Smith. Aikman's going to throw it. Wide open is LaFleur. From Aikman to LaFleur.
That is what happens when you go play pass and they take a big bite on the play pass. Watch this. Here's LaFleur right here. But watch all these guys up here. They all went for the play fake, and LaFleur was wide open in the back of the end zone. They were all watching Chris Warren for the run. It fired up Chan Gailey, and no one watched David LaFleur.
That's LaFleur's 3rd touchdown catch of the year. That's a new career season high for him.
And that happens when a whole bunch of defensive guys take a big old bite.
Yep. And so the Cowboys lead 24-13 over Washington.
To you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. By HiFi.com for the best in home theater, audio, and video equipment. Sign on, sit back. By Nortel Networks, how the world shares ideas. And by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
The Cowboys 24, Washington 13. Going to kick it off.
Texas Longhorns take a little stroll, huh?
Yep. Mitchell is hit short of the 20. And hit hard.
Let's watch this touchdown, Pat.
Williams.
Here's David LaFleur here, and you're going to see the effect of the play pass. When they start motion there, then they fake right here. If we just stop it right here, we see all the Redskins are right here. LaFleur is right there. And that is when a whole bunch of Redskins take a bite, and someone's going to end up wide open in the end zone.
And that time it was LaFleur. 24-13. 4.5 minutes left to play.
These fans are into this. They're giving them a standing ovation here.
Johnson, Westbrook. Westbrook outside the 40. There's Nelson Mandela, 1993 Nobel Prize, Peace Prize laureate. That's I believe that's Prince Bandar next to him.
Yes, it is on his right. Nelson Mandela, someone who had a commitment and believed in it and did it for a lot of people.
Davis makes the reception at about the 45-yard line. 3:43 left to play. Out of bounds, stops the clock.
I don't know if Nelson Mandela knows it or not, but on that last drive where David LaFleur caught the touchdown pass from Troy Aikman was perfect on that drive. He was 7 out of 7.
By the way, DJ Johnson on his way up to talk with Nelson Mandela. There's Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys.
Did you see what Jerry Jones gave him?
Yeah, a cowboy hat.
He had a hat. That's Jerry. I mean, Jerry is going to get Nelson Mandela to wear a cowboy cap. Well, I don't think he's going to go for it.
He might.
There he was. This was a little earlier, Pat, where he was waving to the crowd with his cap. Showed him that cowboy star.
The Prince has got one too in his
That's
hand.
when I said they were giving him a standing ovation. I thought it was for their defense playing so well, or to fire the Cowboys up, or Troy Aikman's touchdown pass. It was for Nelson Mandela.
Redskins cross midfield, and they're going to measure and see if it's a first down or not.
You're a big old lineman. They don't even give you regular tape. That is about as close to getting a first down as you can get. They just put tape. I mean, I'm just anything that'll hold you together. You know, they got.
Did they ever think about what? Well, number one, what television would be without duct tape, and what football would be with no tape.
Well, that's that. You know, that two-sided tape, and all those offensive linemen use that now, where they tape their jerseys to their shoulder pads.
Johnson outside to Stephen Davis, who can't stay in bounds, bounces outside after a couple of yards.
You know, Johnson's passes are just a little off.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, where he's not hitting the guy in stride. Remember that one a little earlier to Michael Westbrook, was kind of a little behind. He threw a couple to Connell, a little behind. I mean, he's not. I mean, he's not as sharp as I've seen him.
Well, he's not a guy who's going to drill the ball, throw it like Aikman. He's going to give you time to make a play on it. And sometimes if you're late with passes like that, the other team makes a play on it.
Ooh, there's one.
Touchdown, Redskins, Albert Connell. That one stayed up there a long time, hung long enough for him to get under it.
You know, Norv Turner was telling us last night that he sent some tapes to his brother, Ron Turner, who's the coach at Illinois, and he said after that, he said the thing that he said is, boy, can that guy throw a deep pass? He said he throws a deep ball as well as anyone I've ever seen. You see him on up in the top, it's a little bootleg, and you see it's a double post. And so he just hits the second post guy right there perfectly. That's the thing, you get two posts coming in there, so if the safety goes for the first post, then the second post is coming in there.
Brett Conway for the extra point with Brad Johnson holding.
And did that throw of Brad Johnson's quiet this crowd?
Yes, it did.
5 plays, 80 yards.
High snap. Johnson gets it down. The extra point is good. Look at this catch again. Back into the ball.
Box.
There is a bright orange monster over the stadium today. It's Halloween, you know. The Monster.com blimp is bringing us these magnificent views from the sky. Monster.com is the leading global careers website offering opportunities from intern to CEO. Orange monster over the stadium. Jeff Ogden is going to bring it back. He doesn't make it back to the 15-yard line, and there's a penalty flag down. Holding against Dallas. They'll move him back a little bit further. 2 minutes, 7 seconds left to play in the third quarter.
Let's just watch that touchdown again.
The return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Here's Albert Connell here. Now we're going to get a post here and a post here. And you see both safeties are up. It comes off a bootleg. And you see how that first or inside post clears out the middle, and Brad Johnson throws a perfect pass to Albert Connell.
He just laid it up high and let him run under it.
As you said, Connell caught that ball right at the end of the football.
2 minutes 7 seconds left, third quarter. Washington 20, Dallas 24.
They had the right pass pattern on for the right defense because there was no safety for the Cowboys in the middle.
Chris Warren is standing on the end line. Aikman is chased into the end zone and throws it away. Incomplete. He had a receiver in the area, but Anthony Cook was all over it.
Yeah, and he had to throw that ball, but at least it was in the direction of a receiver.
There goes Emmitt Smith for the locker room. He has a strained groin, we're told.
Yeah, and they don't have Rocket Ismail in there. Remember that hit that he took? They say that he has a chest contusion.
Try to think. Emmitt Smith has a strained neck. I'm sorry, I said groin. Here's Aikman back to throw it. Emmitt does indeed have a problem. A strained groin. Kevin Smith has a strained neck. And as John said, the Rocket has a contusion in the back.
Yeah, and then earlier, Deion Sanders, they said, had a concussion.
Big third down coming. They need 5. Too much time. Or someone moved, I believe. I didn't see any movement.
Well, this is a tough thing when you have to make these adjustments.
Number 89, 5 yards. Remains third down.
LaFleur, they say, moved.
You know, when you start losing guys, like they lose a Rocket, then you have to get another receiver in there, and then you lose Emmitt Smith. Now you have to have Chris Warren in there playing for Emmitt Smith. And they had, before this game, they had a separate package for Chris Warren. So now they can't use that. Now Chris Warren has to take Emmitt Smith's place.
3rd and 10. Alvin Harper is split out wide to the right.
They only have about 8 plays for Alvin Harper.
Aikman swings it outside to Ernie Mills, and he might have gotten enough for a first down and a little breathing room. He went into the kicker's net. He may need some breathing room himself.
Yeah, that's one thing about Troy Aikman, though. I mean, he's hanging in there today. I mean, you know, I said earlier that I didn't feel that he was playing the last couple of weeks with a lot of confidence, but I'll say this: he's got about a half a deck in there right now, but he is playing with a lot of confidence today.
Mills came out of the backfield to make this reception.
Yeah, he came out of the backfield and ended up in the net.
Yeah, 1st and 10, nevertheless. That's what they needed. Aikman looking, has time, throws the pass complete, and there's a flag on the play. Jeff Ogden made the catch. Holding against Dallas. 22 seconds left in the third quarter. Emmitt Smith is back.
Well, he's back on the sideline. He doesn't have a helmet, so you don't know exactly what the results were.
Number 42, half the distance to the goal.
Called against Chris Warren for holding.
You know, a lot of times they'll take a player in when, like Emmitt Smith, when he pulls a groin there, they'll take him in just to do a tape job. And, you know, they try and get everything taped, you know, so that you hold the muscle tight and you keep it warm, and then, you know, don't get it cold where it starts to cramp up.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score: the Cowboys 24, the Redskins 20. Fox NFL Sunday from Texas Stadium will continue after a word from your local Fox station. That's Deion Sanders on the other side of Chad Hennings. There's Kevin Smith. There's the injury list. Emmitt Smith has problems with the groin. Kevin Smith problems with his neck. And there's how Rocket got hurt.
Yeah, remember that was Leamont Evans, the free safety of the Redskins, really laid it to Rocket as he came in that end.
Emmitt Smith's back in the game. Pass intended for LaFleur. It got there before he was ready.
Yeah, and they knocked Troy Aikman down. I mean, Troy Aikman had to throw that ball then, and he threw a perfect pass. LaFleur just wasn't ready. But, you know, there hasn't been a sack in today's game. I mean, there hasn't been one sack by either team. But this is about as close as you can get right there.
Some pressure.
I mean, LaFleur has to catch that ball. Aikman has to throw it exactly when he threw it. And David LaFleur has to catch it.
2nd and 20.
Where you try and get 10.
Fake to Emmitt Smith. Dropped. Pass dropped by Alvin Harper, who was open.
Yep, he was open, and that's 2 in a row. LaFleur dropped one just before they bring Alvin Harper in. You know, but Alvin Harper didn't expect to play now. They brought him in a couple weeks ago just to see how he was. Then Michael Irvin gets hurt. And then they lose Wayne McGarity, and so now they just wanted him to be ready in a couple weeks, and they had to activate this game.
5 drop passes by the Cowboy receivers today.
Again, both quarterbacks, I think, have done a good job of getting rid of the ball.
Aikman again throws. Flag has got to be thrown on that play. The defender was draped all over. Darryl Pounds draped all over Alvin Harper. Yes, sir.
And that's exactly what it was. Darryl Pounds, we talked about him earlier, the nickel corner. I think that's who they look for.
On the defense, number 31.
31.
First down.
Here's Darryl Pounds right here. Here's Alvin Harper. You're going to see him come, then he's going to go to the inside. That's the old pattern the Cowboys have run for years. It's called a skinny post. But watch his left hand right there. You see his left hand has the left shoulder of Alvin Harper.
And it's a takedown. Emmitt Smith is the carrier.
And the other thing it did is it's given the Cowboys some breathing room, because remember, just a couple of downs ago they were 2nd and 20. Here's Troy Aikman under the pressure we're talking about. He hasn't been sacked. He's been hurried 7 times and knocked down 3 times, and he hasn't thrown an interception.
The Rocket is back in the game. Ismail splits out wide to the right. Mills is split left. There's the Rocket. Aikman to throw it. Across the middle to LaFleur. And he bounced around with it a moment and lost it.
That's one of the things that Troy Aikman has been telling us the last month or so, that, you know, if they're going to have a passing game, that the tight end has to be a part of it. There's Troy's reaction right there to it. On this drive alone, he's had 3 drops, 2 by LaFleur and then the 1 by Alvin Harper.
That one was a difficult catch, but could have been caught. 3rd and 7. Big third for both teams.
Yeah, we just saw a shot of Chan Gailey. He was looking up at the jumbotron to see if that ball could have been caught.
Aikman out of the shotgun, flag on the play. He'll take the free play. He gets it to Jason Tucker, and Tucker is finally chased out of bounds at the 25. Jason Tucker.
Jason Tucker out of Texas Christian. Guys are making big plays for these Cowboys that we're not used to hearing as Cowboy names.
Way down on the depth chart.
Again, Troy Aikman gets him to jump and then goes for the big play. That's a veteran quarterback.
2 fouls, both on the defense. Offside
2 flags
on the right end and holding.
Both on the defense.
Both fouls. 2 flags. The play results in a first down.
You see, that's how he got him. He got him on that offside. It was that hard count from the shotgun.
2nd time he's done that.
And here's Jason Tucker. He's number 87. He just keeps working. And that's against Champ Bailey, their #1 draft choice, who didn't just keep working. And Troy Aikman knows if you got a free shot, don't do a dump off. Look for the deepest guy you got.
Take it. At the Redskin 20. Emmitt Smith picks his way down inside the 15.
You know, and one thing with this lead, 24-20, the Cowboys again have to be aggressive here and know that lead is not going to hold up. I mean, the Cowboys need another score or two with 13 minutes and 25 seconds, and they know that. And just a few minutes ago, they were way back here to our right. They were 2nd and 20.
2nd and 5 right now. They need to go across the 10 to get a first down. Here's Emmitt. And he's across the 10. But not quite enough for the first.
Yeah, he's just in front of the yellow line. You know, one thing, they run to the left and they go to Larry Allen. And then when they run to the right, they take and they pull him. And Emmitt Smith knows if you run to the left, get in behind Larry Allen. If he pulls, get in behind Larry Allen. Because when Larry Allen runs out there to pull, someone is going to end up on the ground.
Or are they going to dive on the ground when they see him coming?
Sometimes they put themselves on the ground. We did a game in Philadelphia a few weeks ago, and the corner came up and went into the ground before he was ever hit.
Chris Warren is the deep back this time.
Redskin defense is confused.
Warren gets the carry and jumps over the right side and down to about the 5, first down.
Chris Warren running right at the confusion. They had a late substitution, and where the late substitution went in is right where Chris Warren ran that ball. The thing, you know, when you get a big offensive line like the Cowboys have, and you get a defense like the Redskins that is vulnerable, you know, you just wear them down. You just keep wearing. That's why you have to run the ball. And
that's what's taking place right now. Aikman has Warren behind him. And he gives to Warren, who burrows down close to a touchdown. Cowboys are signaling touchdown, but the officials haven't yet.
Now, that one official on the far side spotted the ball. This guy right here, he's the guy that spotted it. And that's about as close as you can get. Let's just push here in the left side. This is what you want to win. You got to get your shoulder pads underneath their shoulder pad. And you talk about a push. Larry Allen at left guard got a push all the way into the end zone.
How about Stepnoski?
Stepnoski, you know, you talk about underrated players. He's one of those guys.
Aikman rolls right. He is going to roll in.
Who?
Yes, he did. I wonder if he's okay.
But, you know, he doesn't know how to land.
No, he doesn't.
mean, you know, he learned the like people that jump or trampoline. He's never learned how to land. He's never learned how to end a run. And he just got in there and just stopped. And I don't know, if you watch him here, I'm not sure if he's sure that he made the right decision here. Watch him. I mean, you got to run or sprint or get out or something. He just stopped.
And he took a joke.
I know he did.
He got hit.
I mean, he didn't know whether to dive, to jump, to slide, to get out of bounds, or whatever. So he did nothing, and they just tattooed him. Woo.
But he got in.
And he's going to feel it tomorrow.
Yes, he is. Cunningham's extra point is good. And the Cowboys 31-20 over the Redskins. But still a lot of time left as Aikman scored.
Designed Saturn S Series by Intel's Web Outfitter service for Pentium 3 processor owners, free at Intel.com. By Budweiser, made with the freshest all-natural ingredients for brewery fresh taste. And by Nike.
When you think of Dallas and Texas, you really don't think about sailing, do you?
Yeah, but is that guy fishing in a sailboat? And I think he had a dog. I think I saw a dog on there too. That's a pretty good Sunday for a guy. His dog and fish and sail.
Brian Mitchell to return the kickoff, and the Redskins will start to operate from about their own 27. Aikman's left hand might have been injured a bit when he scored that touchdown.
His whole body might have been injured a bit.
Tonight on Fox, can Hank help Bill reclaim his high school football record on an all-new King of the Hill? Then Homer becomes a famous food critic on an all-new Simpsons, followed by Futurama. Pass caught by Irving Fryer from Johnson, about a 7-yard pickup.
You know, we were talking yesterday to Norv Turner. He felt that Irving Fryer, you know, remember Irving Fryer retired. In fact, he was going to work for Fox, and they had him all signed up. He was going to be a game analysis, and then the next thing I know, he's with the Redskins, and they said that this past week they figure that he finally got in football playing shape and can beat Irving Fryer today.
Stephen Davis on a counter play that fooled no one. The Cowboys bottle it up.
Well, the Redskins know that they're looking, or Norv Turner, that they're looking here for 2 scores. So, time becomes important a little sooner. It's not the type of thing you can wait until the last 2 minutes if you only need 1 score. They're thinking in terms of 2 scores.
Jerry Jones on the right. Of course, Nelson Mandela on the left, and Rich Dalrymple's wife, the Cowboys PR man, who is from South Africa, talking with him.
Right. And she had a book that I'm sure she was pointing. You see, she was pointing to the book there.
Yep.
Probably going to see if he'd sign that book.
The Redskins can't make a first down, and they're going to have to punt.
Yep, she is getting him to sign it. And she made notes in that book, so she was showing him the notes that she made in that book.
Brian Hansen back to punt for Washington. And that's Deion Sanders. And he's off.
He got one.
Yep. $70 yards for Deion Sanders. Just a matter of time.
He is something. He says when he gets the ball, all his returns are middle returns. And all he has to do is find the crease. That was the crease right up there. Now, when he gets through that crease, if there's a guy or two, he's going to make a move, and then anything that's left, he just outruns him. As you said, Pat, it's just a matter of time. And who would have thought that he would even be back after that hit that he took earlier?
Cunningham to try to make it 38-20. And he does.
Look at Bill Bates and the rest of the players, Bob and Joe Avizano. This hasn't been a good special teams year, but that one was.
Number 21, Deion Sanders, the 6th career punt return touchdown, the 4th touchdown on a return for the Cowboys since he's been here. 9:03 left to play, 9 minutes now. The Cowboys leading by 18 points.
Let's look at Deion Sanders again, Pat. Here he was before. There's no dancing around. He's just waiting here. And watch it. He's going to catch this thing. Now, we said he always catches it, then looks for a crease. And we're going to see. Here he is right here running.
And
he's looking to his left for a crease. So we just let it go just a little more, and we stop it right here. Now we see right here, this is a crease that he's looking for, and once he sees that, he knows he has a touchdown. There's a crease, make a move on someone, and just outrun the rest. There's always a middle return. Deion Sanders doesn't have a right or a left return. Every return is a middle, and he said all he has to do is see the crease and get to it.
Johnson down. Brandon Noble gets the first sack of the game.
Look at this here. Now we can go 6 here. And then the total is right here. We take that and we make that 18. So now the whole thing is up to date, if you were wondering about Deion Sanders' touchdowns.
Steven Alexander, who's been very quiet today, made the reception. Gets very little.
And I think with that touchdown by Deion Sanders, I think that kind of made the Redskins run out of time, because now we're talking about 3 scores in 8 minutes. And that you have to play offense with a real sense of urgency.
Again, close to a sack. Alexander makes the catch and heads for out of bounds. Doesn't quite make it. And the clock continues to tick.
I was really impressed with the Cowboys defense today. I mean, they started. Remember, we had that thing where they said if if you can't get fired up for the day, you don't have any heart. And they were fired up. And, Dave Campo, the defensive coordinator, was fired up. His whole defense was fired up. And they came out on that first series, I felt, and set the pace for this game.
Deion Sanders back. There'll be a flag on this play. The outside man.
Joe Avizano, who was so happy a minute ago, is now yelling at his team. He only had 10 guys on the field.
Doesn't take long.
Look at him. He's out there. He didn't get his substitutes in. He didn't get his punt return in the game. They just scored a touchdown, and the next time they go, they only have 10 guys out there.
He's yelling at Dan Quinn, the rookie from Texas A&M, and their #1 draft choice, Ebenezer Ekubak.
And they're both what? They're both rookies, and usually if someone does make that kind of mistake, it's a rookie. And the other thing is, if you're going to yell at someone, it's usually a rookie that you're yelling at. Brian Hansen just signed the other day with the Redskins because Matt Turk, their punter, is out with a finger that he had operated on.
Jeff Ogden is back deep now. Deion is out.
Deion's done his work.
Ogden signals fair catch and makes it. Deion, time for a little refreshment. 38-20 Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys 38, the Redskins 20. 7:09 left to play. The Cowboys have the ball at their own 39-yard line. Those of you who watched Miami squeak by Philadelphia 16-13, welcome to Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys jumped out to a 17-0 lead, and the Redskins have been playing catch-up ever since. That's Chris Warren.
It's easy, guys.
Second half scoring by the Cowboys. Aikman to LaFleur, the tight end. Brad Johnson to Albert Connell for the Redskins. And Aikman running himself did get in. And here's the last one. The punt return by Deion Sanders. I don't think there's anybody who ever did it better.
Or anybody who ever played cover corner better.
Right. .6:26 left to play in the game summary. Total yards: Washington 230, Dallas 353. Aikman 20 out of 31, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then of course the long punt return, 70-yarder by Deion Sanders. That pretty well takes care of the Dallas scoring effort.
Well, the Cowboys looked lousy in their last 2 games before today, against Philadelphia and against the New York Giants, and then they came out today and played Cowboy football. They were a lot more aggressive on both offense and defense.
Chris Warren is the ball carrier. Barely makes it back to the line of scrimmage.
Chris Warren on the carry. Tackle number 59, Sean Parker.
Nelson Mandela enjoying the Cowboys' success today, along with the owner Jerry Jones and Prince Bandar.
That's how you can tell it's a big game.
Yeah.
Really? It's an Eastern Division. It's a rivalry game. It's the Redskins and the Cowboys, and it's all these things that we've done. And there's Nelson Mandela. So it has to be big when he flew in for it.
Toby going back to punt. Gets it out of there. Cowboy coverage is good. Jason Tucker down to make the stop. Next week it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First two of the NFL's top teams clash as the high-flying Rams battle the Titans. And then Deion Sanders and the Cowboys try to shut down Peyton Manning and the Colts. Coverage begins an hour before kickoff of the pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. Indianapolis again winning big, and as you pointed out earlier, John, Peyton Manning has become one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch them next week against these Cowboys, and the young one Peyton Manning against Troy Aikman.
Here's Brad Johnson dumping it over the middle to Brian Mitchell. Mitchell out just a couple of yards shy of the first down. Deion Sanders made the stop.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Pat, there's going to be a lot of people right now in Washington that are watching this game that are real tired.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Well, I mean, because the Redskins are getting beat. I mean, they're tired of a lot of things. But they had a marathon there today.
Well, that's
a marathon this morning. Yeah, the Marine Marathon. People run it, then come back and watch the game.
Johnson screen pass to Mitchell. Gets him up. Remember when Deion got hit earlier trying to return a punt?
Yeah, and we thought he had a concussion. We thought he went in, there's no way that he'd be back playing. And not only does he come back, but he comes back and finds his crease.
Yeah.
And when he finds his crease and hits it, then it's a touchdown. That's why you pay these guys big money. I mean, guys that are difference makers. Guys that can come in and control a game. I mean, that's what Deion Sanders can do. That's what Troy Aikman can do. I mean, that's why they get that big money.
Today's game is being produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. The associate directors Mike Roy, broadcast associates are Charles McDonald and Mark Mata. Technical producer is Bob Mueller. Pre-game show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The associate director of the pregame show is Jennifer Love. Senior producers Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill.
We saw a shot there taking Keith Sims off the field here. He's been one of the guys that's been a pleasant surprise for the Redskins. They moved Trey Johnson to right guard, and Keith Sims has played left guard, and he's played very, very well.
Michael Irvin's son.
Now that is a sight. That is a beautiful sight.
65,000 people, and you can
go to sleep.
Take a nap. Brad Johnson back to throw as rushed, fires and gets rid of it, and avoids a loss.
You notice though he didn't take a nap until the Cowboys got those 38 points and got comfortably ahead.
Michael wouldn't let him.
Well, no. Well,
Big Michael.
Little Michael says, that I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay with this game until we, the Cowboys, get in the situation we went, and then I'm going to just go to sleep.
Team Madden, all Madden team.
Isn't that something?
They want shirts.
Huh?
They want you to give them shirts.
No, those guys. I mean, there's not one elevator that goes to the top in that whole group.
Nevertheless, they want you to furnish them with garments.
Yeah, but you never take your shirt. I mean, I've talked about this before. If you ever watch Cops or anything, you ever watch those shows? Yeah. The guys, look at these guys. Anyone that the cops come in and you don't know who did it, they always go for the guy with his shirt off. So if there's anything that happened here in this stadium, you want to know who did it, it's these guys right here. They did it. Those guys right there, because they don't have their shirts on.
Do you think they painted themselves, or did somebody else do the paint job?
they lined up right.
Yeah,
That's part of the deal. That's a basketball play.
To Brian Mitchell. Here comes the Redskin punting team. It has not been a good day for Brad Johnson.
Yeah, we talked about Brad Johnson earlier, that he never really got in sync. I mean, he never seemed to get this thing running smoothly today, and Norv Turner didn't either as a play caller, and they've been fighting an uphill battle all day, and they never got comfortable within this game.
Well, you have to give a lot of credit to Dave Campo and the defensive unit of the Cowboys. Out of bounds, and the Cowboys will take over.
And the Cowboys defense did an outstanding job today, especially in coverage.
King of the Hill, 7:30, 6:30 Central, and an all-new Simpsons at 8, 7 Central. That's tonight on Fox.
You know, those are the guys that talked this week about, what they were going to do and what they could do, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I think that you want people to talk, and you want them to talk about the game. And then when they say something, that they can do that's positive. Then if they don't, then you're going to hold it against them, and I think that's a little unfair too.
It rarely ever materializes. Chris Warren banging ahead.
I think trash talk is one thing, but I think just saying that, that you think you can do this, you have to have confidence. I mean, you have to believe that you can do it. I mean, I don't think that was a problem for Westbrook or Connell today.
For them to say Deion Sanders cannot cover us, cannot cover me, both of them said that. That might be wishful thinking.
Well, they were proven wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, Deion Sanders, did cover them, and they didn't do anything, and that's not going to happen. I'll guarantee you that.
Get married.
Yeah, but not in that direction.
No. Warren behind the line again. Cowboys just running out string now. 2:40 left to play. The Redskins record will slip to 5-2, and the Cowboys will be 4-2. Our Redskins will be 4-2 on
Jerry Jones was saying yesterday that he was going to have Nelson Mandela down in the Cowboy locker room after the game.
If the circumstances were correct.
Yeah, and he said, I said, you mean circumstance, don't you? Not a lot of circumstances. The circumstance means if the Cowboys win, he's going to.
3rd and 7. Cowboys will punt it away. Chris Warren just make sure he's got the ball securely. And we'll get the 2-minute warning with Dallas leading 38-20. That punt returned by Deion Sanders, put it out of reach. Back at Texas Stadium, where Dallas leads Washington 38-20 with 2 minutes left. He'll be going back to punt. Welcome to those of you who saw Tampa Bay beat Chicago and Detroit over Carolina. Detroit's a lot better than people thought, including these people.
Yeah, and that whole Central Division is an interesting thing, and with Minnesota not being the power that they were a year ago, that opens it up. Then you look at this division. Now with this, if the Cowboys hold on here, which they have to and win, they and the Redskins will be tied with a record of 4-2. The Giants will be 1 game out. They'll be 4-3. Arizona's 2-4, and Philadelphia's 2-5. So by the Cowboys winning this game, then they got into a first-place tie with the Redskins.
The Giants play at Washington November 21st, and the Giants play here in the new millennium, January the 2nd of the year 2000. That's the last game of the regular season.
You can't beat a new millennium. And then next week the Cowboys play in Indianapolis, and that's that's Halloween. Am I wrong?
That's correct.
Thank you.
They turn the clock back and all that stuff.
Yeah, the whole thing. And
we saw that full moon
A
last
full
night.
moon. Oh, we got everything going. A Halloween, full moon, millennium's coming up. Change the clock back next week. Except in Indianapolis, it stays the same. You know,
there are a couple of places.
Yeah, they're central, and then they stay eastern or something. They don't turn their clock anywhere, but they do get an hour.
I think Arizona doesn't change the daylight saving time as well. 38-20. The Cowboys have really dominated right from the outset, on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they did, and the Redskins have this explosive offense that didn't explode today.
That's Steven Alexander making the catch for a Redskin first down.
You know, and one of the things, the running game early wasn't a big part of it. And the other thing that they feel to have a good passing game is Steven Alexander, their tight end, has to be a part of it. And he wasn't a big part of today's game.
Until the last few series. And Brad Johnson, frankly, was not that sharp. Larry Centers battle, stays on his feet, struggles to the 45.
Yeah, Brad Johnson wasn't, but I would sure take Brad Johnson on my team. He's the real deal.
Those of you who watch the Giants beat New Orleans 31-3.
Now, who would have thought the New York Giants could score 31 points? You got to break up that juggernaut.
Not even the New York Giants.
Oh. That's it. They aren't going to play any more plays.
Chan Gailey will get the critics off his back after this performance today, and so will Troy Aikman. 38-20. We'll be back with the studio guys, the post-game, pre-game show. JB, Howie, Terry, and Chris, they're here, and they'll be back after we have a look at the NFC East standings. Dallas and Washington, as John said, tied for first at 4-2. The Giants just a half game back. Arizona 2-4 and Philadelphia 2-5. There's Deion Sanders.
Deion's going over there to talk to the guys on the post-game set.
Yeah. Well, he should.
Well, he'll talk about finding the crease and how he did that. And it'll be interesting how he took that hit and then came back to even play again, let alone make a big touchdown run.
We thought he would not be back, and all of a sudden he's playing on defense. So coming up, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris, Joe Buck, and Ron Pitts, Marv Levy, and scores and highlights. All that's coming up here on Fox.